2006 here for fluids. He supplied an intake on it already, and it has an NVIDIA catback. We'll show you that when it goes up in the air. This is pretty much his list: oil, trans fluid, diff fluid, brake and clutch fluid. More than likely replace the serpentine belt. The brake stoppers, we sell those in the store. We sell a ton of them. Well, his cruise control quit working and he sees plastic on the floor. Most likely the issue. And then he supplied a Flash Pro. Brake stoppers, we have these in the store and we sell a ton of these. It's very, very common, mainly age. These things fall apart. There is 3 on an S2000. One is for the clutch safety switch, one is for the clutch to disengage the cruise control, the other one is for the brake. This is how you would see it in the car right here. Now the lower one right here, this is to disengage the cruise control. When you're cruising in high gear, when you press the clutch, this releases this button here, disengages the cruise. The hard one, which is the one at the top right under that switch there, is the safety switch. It's there. It's difficult to get to. There is some people that use tricks to get in there. You see it? Like I say, the easiest way is spend 10 minutes taking this pedal out and then replace the buttons on the bench. This is what the new button looks like. There it is right there. There we are, all done, before and after. So 217, 151, which is pretty good. Car has an intake, an exhaust only. So this is fuel and timing tuning, just on the full throttle portion. Of course, big changeover on VTEC. That is one of the more dramatic areas that the car feels great as the VTEC engages, but you don't realize you're actually losing a bit of power before there. Also, the fueling is quite a bit off due to the intake and exhaust. So the red is straight. That's the last run right there, as you see. Also, I picked up quite a bit right off here. This is with timing. We see quite a bit of gains right here, about 20 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of torque right in that area there. So it's definitely going to be noticeable feel-wise. It's not a ton of power to be gained, but for the small amount of mods, it's decent and it will feel a ton better. Alright, so there's a compressor running in the background. I don't know if you can really hear it. Maybe get a bit of a sound clip. Does it feel good? Yeah. Feels crisp?
You noticed that bit in the beginning. If you drive it before and then right after?
Yeah, because they feel lazy anyway. They don't have a lot of power down low. That's 23 horsepower we made on the bottom.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll get a sound clip. So this is the bag with the old rocker parts in it. Let me show you it real quick. He's already changed it, so he's put the new rocker assembly in. Now this is the second time in less than a month that we've seen this. See this right here? This is broken on this. This is the third cylinder. This is on the intake side. But this is one of the rollers right here. It should look like this. And it's broken in half. You might have saw a video where we found the same problem. The car had a problem in VTEC. As soon as you hit VTEC, it break up and start running all funky. What we found out was this issue. Now this is the same one. So he's replaced this. He's put a new rocker in and it's still got a problem. So we're going to fire into this and show you what we find. Shows to be something wrong with number 3. Looks like retainer, possibly valve, possibly spring. We need to be able to get in there and take a look. See what we've got going on. So we're going to take basically this top section off, take the cam caps off, the cams, and then this whole rocker assembly. We should be able to get a good view of what's going on. So these magnets right here, these were given to us by our friend Steve. He saw us do a bunch of these and he'd seen people use them. They're magnetic trays for holding sockets, and we use these every day. So that's the rockers right there. Now this is the bottom end of the rockers. Basically the top of the cylinder head, you see the valves, the springs, the retainers, and just as a glance right there, look at number 3, fourth one back. There it is. Look how the retainer is coming up around the valve there. You see that? You see it to the one next to it? This is one of the problems with AP1 retainers that we talk about. That's why we do the AP2 retainer upgrade. Well, some people say it's just the intake, some people say it's just the exhaust. We've had experience, it's all of them. The springs are pretty strong for, obviously, to be able to run 9,000 RPMs. The valves are light, and also the retainers are light. Well, downside of the retainers being light, they wear and bend. That one is noticeably different to the one next to it. That one looks slightly off too, but on the exhaust side, that one looks a little bit suspicious there too. But what happens is the rocker actually is contacting the outside of the retainer and not touching the tip of the valve, which if you get here, you can see there's basically no tip. As you go to this one over here, you can see where the tip sticks up. This one is below the retainer. So that is really lucky. We'll take that out and show you, but that's lucky that that didn't break and drop the valve. These are the old retainers that's coming off, and if you look particularly on this edge, of course the camera isn't going to focus well enough, but this edge is what gets really thin, and then eventually they break. If you see these compared to AP2s, AP2s are much thicker here. You can see there the shiny portion there where it's wearing. Well, let me show you the really bad one. You can see that is cracking, and it's almost all the way through. That one is ready to drop. So if that one splits in half, the valve drops into the cylinder, and it's usually bad. At very best, you lose the valve and the cylinder head. Most cases, you lose the sleeve, the piston. You can see the indentation there where it's starting to bend and come through. We'll get the magnet and we'll dig around in the bucket and see if we see anything, but I'm guessing it's sitting trapped in that pan. I don't see any things coming out. Nothing as yet. That's where they all are. And there's pieces of them too. Look at that. There's pieces everywhere.
There's bearing material too.
You should pick them all up on here. Yeah, look at that. This is all the steel parts. Obviously the bearing material isn't going to stick to the magnet. Again, we're going to wash all this out, but right now we're going to inspect the rod bearings, make sure there's no issues in the bearings. So pretty sad. This is some of the material we found, and the motor is just too badly damaged. It's going to need more than likely a full bottom end, so it's pretty sad. We never want to see this. We'll report more on this if we end up putting this car together. We'll tell you more about it. This car is here for a clutch. We're going to do an SCT pressure plate and OEM combo disc. I'll show you what that looks like. It's a pretty popular modification. Obviously more clamping power from the SCT, but you've got the reliability of the OEM disc and the nice smooth engagement. Like I've always said, every clutch has a drawback. Everything has a compromise. The compromise this is more pedal pressure, a little bit more side load on the crank. Something to look at is deleting the safety switch so you don't have to start it with the clutch engaged. But the only negative to doing that is you start it in gear, the car takes off down the street. So there's always a compromise, like I was mentioned. We'll show you this. This one has a Greddy kit on it. When it comes down off the lift, we'll show you what it looks like. This car is done. One thing we couldn't replace is the foam. We've shown you this in past videos. Well, we sell this in the store in our master kit, but unfortunately it's been on forever back order. Just to give you an idea, in case you didn't see the past video, this is supposed to be foam, and it's basically noise insulation. And look what it does when it gets old. It doesn't really look like foam anymore. This is like modeling clay. You can take it home and give it to the kids. Just don't eat it. If you're not tuned in to our playlist, check the bird hatch out. We are doing more to it. We're building the brake scoops. It is the weekend. This is our time. Stay tuned to that. We'll put a separate video on what's going on. Brake scoops, sticky tires, more performance of the brakes, get ready for the track day. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Don't forget, enjoy your cars.